What's up, collectors? I am in the middle of trying to figure out if I can get this Cthulhu head from the Mezco Atticus Doom onto a Mythic Legions body. Now, I don't really have plans for it, but I just feel like it will probably be a cool swap head for Legions if we can do it. And I think it is going to work. Typically, the figures that are like the Gomez or Rumble Society, they have the same sort of peg, or I should say insert for the peg, on all of the heads. So like the Gomez heads, I mean, we have this Baron Ben's head here, and you can usually remove this insert. And once you do, the head actually fits perfectly on a Mythic Legions 1.0 body. And then that means it's just a little bit bigger than a Mythic Legions 2.0 body. But I think we should be able to remove the one inside this head right here and get this sized so that it can fit a Mythic Legions head. Now, if you're going to do this, just realize this is, modifying the figure. This is actually going to break some glue. These things are glued in there. Even on the skulls, they're glued in. So you have to kind of break through the glue, and it tends to be a little bit of a process. What I usually have on hand is a pair of tweezers, and the main tool, the primary tool, is one of these little, glasses screwdrivers, like from a set like this, right? So one of these small screwdrivers. And what we'll do is, because it's canon, we'll swap it onto Sir Girard, see how that looks on a 1.0 figure, and we'll swap it onto, again, if we can, we'll swap it onto a 2.0 figure. This is Grisha the Slitherer, currently in the vote for All-Stars 5. I also have the Serpent Thulsa Doom here that we can try it on as well. And no, it doesn't fit on any of these just like as it is. We definitely need to modify it to get it onto any of these. It's probably going to be too small for Thulsa Doom, but, just to get a sense of how it'll fit. Okay, so let me just kind of introduce the process, because once I get into it, it's not reversible, and if I screw it up, it's not going to be really understandable. So I've already done it with this particular figure, Baron Ben's head. Essentially, what I've typically noticed is there might be a little edge of glue along the outer rim, but then you can usually stick the screwdriver down the side of it once you break that glue, and the next point of glue is down at the bottom. It's essentially a cylindrical insert with a plug. It's like a softer insert. So if I pull this one out, which once you have it removed, it comes out easily, but you can see there's some damage there. Sometimes it's a nice smooth removal. Sometimes it can be kind of difficult. Baron Ben's was kind of tricky, but I got it out and it pops right back in, and then you can kind of swap it between figures, and I can show you how that one looks on Sir Girard. Now, that Baron Ben's head, in my opinion, is a little bit small for the 1.0 bodies, and it might scale a little bit better with the 2.0 bodies, but again, you have to pad it out with something once it's in that mode. Yeah, so you can get a sense of, this being a creature head, it's probably going to look better. And the nice thing is that although it is a sort of permanent modification, it is reversible. So like I said, you can just put that insert right back into the head and then put it on a Gomez body again, or, Baron Ben's body or whatever it is. All right, let's get into this and see how difficult this one's going to be. It definitely looks like it's sort of painted in there. So this one might be a little trickier than usual, but it's definitely the same piece. It's got that one little squared edge up at the top there. So, all right, let's find out. And I might not be talking through this whole thing, but I'm going to try to film the whole thing, and then I can edit it after. We'll see. Okay, so it's actually not really glued in there. It actually slid right in between, if you can see that. And the goal is to push it as far in as you can, and you got to be careful because too much pressure could push this thing right through to the other side. One of the skulls, I actually punctured it right through, put a hole in my hand, and ruined a skull because of it. But, the skulls come by the dozen, so I was kind of going fast and doing a bunch at once. But yeah, so let's see here. Let's get this screwdriver in here. I'm using the slightly smaller one right now. Once I get into it, I'll probably switch, but I'm just kind of probing around to start. And you might be able to see that I'm kind of getting under it. I'm just going to kind of do that at different points and just work my way around up at the top, just so that I know it's generally, it's generally loose around the edge, at least at the top. And once I make it around just like a shallow bit all the way around, then I'll start going deeper. You probably can't hear it, but actually, let me bring it up to the mic. Maybe you can. I can actually hear, as I'm doing this, I can hear a little bit of the glue breaking. I'm going to pull it to the camera, but take a listen to this. I don't know if you could hear that. It's hard for me to tell while I'm recording, but it's definitely like I can hear the glue cracking as I work my way around this thing. And again, I'm just making my way around this edge. Okay, let's see if I can get a better angle here and work with it. It's really difficult to film something like this. And now I'm kind of working it around again, and I'm trying to go a little bit deeper this time. And I just push it in, down, and then pry it this way, pry it in, and hope that I'm kind of breaking. They're usually like glued towards the bottom, I guess towards the top of the head, really, if you think about the positioning of it. That was a good one. I could hear it. And you're probably not able to hear this while I'm doing it, but when you do it, if you do give this a try, you'll be able to hear it pretty well. And you can usually find these heads on like eBay and stuff. People part out Mezcos the same way they part out Legions, the same way they part out Hot Toys and all the other lines. Usually a Mezco head is maybe like $30, at least when it's new. Sometimes you'll find a good deal if a figure is starting to get a little bit older and there's a lot of the heads available online. You know, if you're going to buy a custom head that's painted, that's already pre-painted by a customizer, it's going to be quite a bit of money. So if you end up getting this Atticus Doom figure, or you just want to buy one of these heads for $30 or whatever, it's actually not a bad deal if this works. And I'm here to try it out for you to see if it works. And I apologize about the camera work here. This is not an easy thing to film. And I'm kind of coming back around, and I'm trying to go a little bit deeper this time. And eventually it'll just like sort of pry right out. And I think it's going to, because this is feeling pretty good. So I continue to just insert down and just pry it in gently, and then pull it out, stick it in again, pull it out, stick it in again, move it over a little bit, stick it in, pry it. And here we go. You can start to see, you know, as you do it, you'll notice sort of like where it's pulling up and where it's staying in. And you'll get a sense of where it's still glued and where the glue has come loose. I think it's still glued along the front here. Like, I feel like it's still glued right along this part, directly in the front. So let me try to get in there. Get them right in the front spot, and I can hear it cracking and pulling away. Prying, and it's coming. Here it is. It's coming out. Boom. There it is. And actually, this one came out much cleaner than it did with Baron Ben's. I mean, take a look at this. The gray one is Baron Ben's, and I guess the light gray one is Baron Ben's. So you can see that one was a lot of work. And I had to sort of, you know, the glue, it was actually ripping the plastic rather than the glue. But this one was pretty easy. And once you have the plug, they're all sort of compatible with each other. So if you need an extra plug or something like that, you could yank one out of one of the skulls. And so, yeah, so you can see here, that's the plug that goes on the Mezco head. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see how this head looks on a Mythic Legions figure. And there we go. It fits like a glove. Like, this thing is on there. Now, of course, this particular head has a lot of stuff. You know, it has these tentacles up front that aren't going to allow it to articulate downwards. But, you know, you can twist the head and stuff. So there you have it on Sir Girard. And if you want to see just how perfect of a fit it is. Now, it's a cylindrical hole, right? So it doesn't pop in the way a peg pops into a normal head, but it's a tight fit. And, you know, you can hold the figure up with the head. Okay, next let's see how it looks on Grisha. That actually looks pretty good too. And this one's not pegged on there. Like, you need to pad that out with something if you want to put it on a 2.0 figure. And finally, let's see how it looks on the Super 7 Thulsa Doom. Again, smaller peg, but let's stick that on there. Actually, if you push it all the way on, it actually fits because it creates tension with the base of the neck, not the peg, actually. But that's just too small, I think, for that body. Although, you know, you never know. It's a weird creature. It could have a small head. And finally, so that you can see, again, that you can put it back on the original figure, you'll notice there is a channel along the front of the face, and you just want to line that piece up with it this way. Pop it back in. Put it right back on the figure, and you're good to go. And it's almost as if you did nothing to it. And it's just got a lot more versatility because you can pop it right off, pull the piece out, and pop it right onto a Mythic Legions figure. Oh, and by the way, if you want to see my full review of the Atticus Doom figure, watch this video right here. And until next time, may the Force be with you.